Done it. Is Mike alive? Tom! Is Mike a straight live? I'm hoping it doesn't. Video unavailable. Brilliant. I'm going to have to start a new Zoom to do it. Or am I there? Is that me now? Hi, everyone. I've lost my Zoom screen. So, I haven't done this for a while, and I'm going to be talking. I got asked a question earlier about, do we have to reincarnate, or do we get a choice? So, Donna, what was your question? Sorry, I'm in the background on Zoom, that you won't see them. For purposes, I wasn't going to necessarily put them onto the screen, so some of my followers. But, Donna, do you want to ask your question again of what you wanted to know? And then I know Anna had got a slight different question on the subject of reincarnation, and then I will channel. There's no point in me answering it, otherwise it's just my belief. I'll get it from guides from the spirit world with regard to reincarnation. So, Donna, what did you want to ask? She may not be on there still. But Anna, so Donna's question was, do we have to reincarnate, or do we get a choice? So that's what we're going to channel to start with. And Anna, what was it you wanted to know?
Do we ascend if we haven't met our twin flame?
Again, I will get that answered by spirit. I can give you my opinion, but it'd be more accurate if I channel the answer. Give me 1 second while I just share this and the link out as well. If anyone else has got a question with regard to this reincarnation, only with regard to reincarnation, then you can ask me in the correct way there. Right, where's this? Share the link here. Control V. There we go. Next. Post. It came probably straight on. Just give me 1 second. All right. Turn the lights and get those on. So I've not done it through YouTube before. I've not done it through Facebook, and it gives us different options. But it kind of surprised me. We've gone straight live. Right. So did anyone know any of the others want to vary it on the question of reincarnation then that are in the background? So like I said, I've got some of my supporters in the background there. So do ask away, Roger, if you wanted to adapt to anything, what we're asking. I know, Roger, that's why I'm asking him. He normally gets a book full and has about 150 questions at the end that he had right from the start. So I thought I'd ask that question. Turn you, Rog.
Who, me?
Yes, you. You'll know Roger. He's done some of the videos with me on for Thunder and Lightning. I do not know where I've posted that I posted. So, let me repost. There we go. Next. Post. So what's anyway, Roger, what's your view on reincarnation? I might as well ask that while you're on here with me at the minute. It's been right on the spot.
Well, I do
So it's just to get a basis point before I start answering the question. So what would you have said about the general consensus on reincarnation? Obviously, some don't believe.
Oh yeah, some don't believe, but a lot of people do believe in reincarnation.
And would you have said, Roger, it's a continual, always having to come back?
That's an interesting question because there's not a straightforward answer, I don't think.
That's what I wanted you to say. I agree. Do we have to always come back? My belief is to a point.
Yes, to a point, I'd say.
So that we've ascended to a high enough vibration or a more refined vibration. So we don't come to Earth just to fail. I said it's for us to ascend. And once we've done that, we can get to a higher vibration. We don't need to come back. So do we get a choice? And I would have said, once we can normally go past that point in ascension, do we come back and do we get a choice? I would have said firmly, no, previously. But I said, times are changing. I don't know, I've got a little bit of insight, but I will let John, my guide, give more on this. I believe some on Earth at the moment have volunteered to come back to try and give balance to the Earth. So in that way, we would have a choice. So Donna's question of the choice, I would have said, no, we don't really get a choice. If we get to a particular level, we don't need to come back. And I would have said, it's not about choice, in actual fact, it's about vibration. So once we're at a certain vibration, we're on to a next level and next thing. And so it could be, I'm just plucking bits out of the air here, I'm not saying categorically this order, but we've lived, we've ascended, we don't need to come back. We become guides. It might be, there's multiple types of guides. And I'm finding out as more and more step close to me, some born with, some added to as I've been on my journey, depending on whether it's for healing, etc. But we've got guides. So we've got ascended masters, we've got angels, we've got all sorts of energies. And it's infinite. We know energy can be killed. It can only be changed. So as our energy changes, we have different purposes. So once we've achieved enlightenment, then I guess it's kind of like a next process of enlightenment, but with other more refined energies. So that our energy can grow and grow and grow. But it can only grow when there's a constant flow. I don't know, I'm getting guys coming around because they start to rhyme. So it can only flow if there's a constant flow. And if there's not been a constant flow, there's never a blockage, but there can be restrictions, a bit like our chakras. So if there's been a restriction or things aren't happening as fast as they should, human souls should be ascending, but aren't completing the task at hand. So it's a more complicated question than just answering yes or no. So what are the tasks at hand? I need a bit of paper so I can keep up now answering what paths they're sending me down on this, which I do agree with. I can see where they're going with it. So, reincarnation. Do we have to? So this is so my guy John can actually answer. Do we have to? Choice? Question mark. Let's remember a minute. So if there's a continued flow, then we continue to grow. If there's not, and there's getting a bridge too far, then that has a knock-on effect. Got up in infinity of energies and flow, because infinity, obviously with the symbol, comes backwards and forwards. It's all around, just like the energies. So there's different levels, but it's not a hierarchy. So I'm going to bring my guy John through to talk with regard to this. Anna, you asked a question a moment ago. You wanted to know about twin flames. Yes, in that example, I'm being given, you would need the twin flame.
So what happens if you never ever
to also
meet a
ascend
twin
or get a
flame?
high enough vibration. Now, do you need to have met in order to have gained that vibration? It's beneficial. John might be adapting something that I've previously been led to believe. I don't know if he'd actually stated this previously. My partner is next to me as well. She won't be on the camera, but she may remember in a minute what I'm going to talk about. John's saying to me about the reincarnation, not reincarnation, twin flames. He just said, as long as they both ascend or get to the... Take off, got it. So meeting would be beneficial, because that way you'd know what kind of energies and what both understand. But it doesn't mean they've necessarily got to meet in order to ascend, as long as both of them following the sole purpose of the life path. But the probability at present about meeting a twin flame, if you're in the ascension process, to not have to come back is extremely unlikely, because I don't want to get thrown off here now either, because a lot's against us from birth. We're put into a system or structure that can kind of de-ascend us or desensitize us to wisdom and higher knowledge. So in that example, likelihood of ascending, even if you have met, can be unlikely unless you are strong and happen to stumble on the right path. But it's going too far now into answering actually the question with regard to it. But so that is more than one answer. So if you would ascended and come back and you didn't meet your partner, as long as you got your twin flame, as long as you were accomplishing what you'd come down to do. So he's trying to suggest, yes, some have volunteered to come back in order to push the flow through. Then, no, you wouldn't necessarily need to meet in order to continue to grow and flow, because there's more chance if you're actually still working on your sole purpose, your sole path, which is for the Earth's progression or Spirit's progression, and it's all interlinked and infinite. So that's what's been stated at the moment, which is kind of given two separate answers. So if anyone's watching and got any questions from that, ask, and I will get further direct questions direct from John in trance. So those that are watching on Zoom in a minute, any questions following what's just been said there? So then get John to feed in trance. Trust Anna to come back on and ask that question. I'm taking the wind from my flow of his answers. But it is a complex subject. So I've not been taught this. I'm not giving you anyone else's opinion. I'm giving you what Spirit have given to me, have channeled. That's the basis of my beliefs. Beliefs can change all the time as I learn more and more. But developments come purely from Spirit, and I was asked guides there. So Anna, knowing that, anything in addition you wanted to know before I drop into trance there? Because you won't be doing like normal, bouncing back to you to then ask any questions that you need to ask now.
No, it's me done for then, isn't it?
Not necessarily. So Lorraine, go on, if you want to unmute, no one will see you. If you want to unmute and ask that question, fantastic.
What about the old soul?
Irrelevant to this at the moment. Okay. So Lorraine, did you want to unmute and ask that question for us? Go on then, Lorraine.
In reincarnation, are we always reincarnated within the same family?
Okay.
Because I feel that we are. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get answers on that. Anyone else want to throw anything in there? If not, we'll start to get the answer further.
Do we meet all the time the same people when we reincarnate?
Right. Let's get some answers here for us. I never actually did check whether it truly was live. I did previously, but it's not echoing back at me like it did before. So I'm hoping it is live as we're doing this now. Just check that. As I said, I'm new to YouTube lives. I don't know whether that's my one or not. Since I am here, but I don't actually know it. Brilliant, thank you, my darling. So then, let me just get a quick drink first, and we will get my guide to come through and try and answer the questions. To be given on the reincarnation. One sec. So, John, if you want to step forward in trance, and trance, if you've not seen it before, the guide comes in and talks through me rather than me, which is giving a closer answer to the truth with or to spirit than me being the middleman and putting my interpretation on it. So, Tom, we've been asked, do we get a choice or do we have to reincarnate? You mentioned, John, the continuing the flow or a restricted flow and coming back. I believe you've answered the one with regard to the twin flames. But do we have to meet, or do we always reincarnate within our within the same soul family or within the same family, whether that be soul family on Earth or family in general, whatever you want to say on that, John. And here he comes to come close. Good evening, everyone. It is John. I am the medium's guide. It is an interesting subject you have come across this evening from Donna asking the initial question. It is not a simple yes or no answer with regard to reincarnation and do you have a choice? There is always choice, freedom. So you do not need to reincarnate, but then you do not ascend, you stay at the same level. So you do not need to be reborn into the human body, but that is how you ascend. I will not talk about where spirit have got stuck or not been to the light. That is a different question, although it is also connected to ascension and reincarnation. So some do not get reincarnated if they do not cross to the light. They are stuck there, earthbound spirit. But if you did not choose to reincarnate at that point, you will not ascend. So you're stuck just looking down at the door. So it is not known of that spirit choose not to reincarnate. But they do not always need to reincarnate, because then they get to a high enough level of vibration, not hierarchy. Then they do not need to. They move on to other tasks at hand, other purposes. But when you are talking on the twin flames, those that are ascended high enough, the soul is split, and the connection of two should be like a magnet trying to meet, showing that the soul is ascended enough to listen to the heart and the wisdom, the intuition. But everything is stacked against you on the earth with regard to your intuition, even if your intuition is good, very ready to many call on spirit to aid or answer questions that the intuition may give rise to. But everyone is born with that ability. So I'll stop on that conversation. That will open up many more hours of talking and passing wisdom. But I can say that there has been a little unequilibrium, non-balance, restricted flow. The energy go when it flow. If the flow is restricted, just like water with the locks, then the flow stops its fast rate. It slows down. So yes, in the current times that you would call it on the earth, you can still ascend. We're not saying block, stop. But it is less common, it is more common to not succeed to get to a more refined vibration, so there is no need to come back. The physical world distorts, and that would open up another conversations for many hours as to why. So we'll not go there at the minute, but it is from young age. If you were to say the best education would be, yes, reading, writing, mathematics, but then I would say building on home, how to feed yourself, so grow what you need to maintain your power, your freedom, your ability to survive. So you're not taught survival skills. The past, there is no need to worry. It is in the past. It cannot be changed. The future, you do not need to worry. It is not happened. It is a present moment. So life paths, to break it down simply, will be to have a joy, to do whatever makes you happy. And that is what is stuck against you. Most will not choose to work the way you do if you wanted to be happy. But moving back to reincarnation. Reincarnation, because the flow restricted, trying to awaken the earth to an old way of being, some have volunteered to come back to try to lift the basis, the foundations of the spirit world. And by spirit world, those that you call still and heaven, where reincarnation happen back to the earth. After the heaven, there are like further gates that open, where you can become guides and pass your wisdom, your knowledge of the physical world, how you succeeded, and so balance through it all, and everything is stacked against you. You still listened and managed to maintain your sovereignty. Then you'll not need to come back. You'll be moved forward and on. But no matter where you move forward to and on, everything is connected. Like water, if you have water on a solid surface, you can separate parts of the water, and you can put them back together, separate, merge. So there is always one energy. That is how it travels so fast in speed, in one side, out the other. It matters not if that makeup is slightly different. You went from here to there, boom, you're over. You're where you want to be. Always seeing. So even if separate, you keep your personality in spirit, your uniqueness. You're still connected at all times. So while here, you can see there. Most on earth do not realize they can still do this when in the physical body. And that can give rise to ascension. So, yes, there is always test done with regard to reincarnation. But with your higher wisdom in speed, no one chooses not to if they have been back to the light, learned from previous life lessons to move forward. But often they repeat the same mistakes in life lessons each time around at the present because of what is stacked against you. There is no helping you. There's only accidentally, shall we say, getting your focus in different areas. So moving on, Lorraine had asked, do we always reincarnate to the same family? So this question, it depends if you're talking physical family, lineage. So for Lorraine, who I better not give away all the name, so we'll call her Lorraine Bill. Lorraine Bill, if you merge back, are you referring to spirit, family? Are you referring to physical lineage of bills? So I'll tell you more. It can be confusing while on the physical plane, because yes, you will recognize that some of the family has old souls that you knew, not necessarily all, but in some instances all, especially when repeated incarnations are having to take place. But everyone on the earth has soulmates. Anyone you have spent a considerable amount of time with or built up relationship with in a previous life. It does not mean romantic, although it could be. She's talking about those you played the sport with, those that you chatted to every day on a trained any, those that you worked with, those that you became friends with. Could have been even someone that you spoke to every day at the shop. There's a soul link. There's a remembrance at a deeper level to do with the past, a connection. That is a definition in speech terms of soulmate. Someone you have been friends with and connected with at a higher level in the past, an understanding of. It could be teacher, student, student, teacher. It could be saying party, friends. It could be love. So someone could come into your life, you remember from a previous life, just to pass some knowledge on to someone. Some will remain with you all life. Some will come in for a part of the life. But you feel the bond straight away. You know the energy. So on the reincarnation, you do get to choose where you're reincarnated. He will, of course, to try to aid you on your path. You wouldn't be very ascended if you chose an entry point where you had nothing on your side, no help at all. Although it may be a good idea nowadays, me. A blank canvas. But yes, you try to hope others are also awakened and move forward. But if something happens often enough, it becomes truth. So focus can be lost, even at some extent in spiritual form, if there is always reincarnation after reincarnation, and it feels like not moving on. And of course, with each life, you get to meet new people, and so there is an even bigger range of soulmates than there had been in the past. Think of your interaction around the world nowadays compared to the past. You interacted with your family, your tribe, your group. You may have come into little contact with outsiders, but not much. So when you came back, soulmates were few and far between. Now, twin flames. Twin flames, when you are ascended enough, in order to show you have reached enlightenment enough to move forward in the ascension process, the soul, let's say for your mind's sake, the soul split. To have this is not split as a divine feminine, divine masculine, but there'll be balance between one and the other more. So that being said, you have to choose the entry point into where you're entering at the 12-week marker in the pregnancy of a woman. So one would choose masculine and one would choose feminine on the twin flame side of things. But not everyone have a twin flame, and those that do only have one on the earth. It does not mean they were born on the same day at the same time. They could be in different places around the world. The point is you'd be ascended enough if you're listening and staying connected with the heart to find one another, to work on the same common goals that you'd agreed to do. And you'd move on in your ascension and not need to come back. So, with regard to where you reincarnate, you get a choice. So, yes, you could know. Or it is more usual to know part, which talk about more soul groups and clusters, which I have before, but I won't go too much into this now. But yes, you often find you'll be drawn to one parent more than the other, and you may have siblings that is joined to the, or attracted or closer bond with the other parent. So that could be the connection of souls. It does not mean they have always been your father or mother. They could have been your wife or uncle or whatever other relation. It's so It is nothing to do with the family name. It is to do with the souls that are around you at the time that resonate with you. But you are the wiser one. I will not go into more personal reading now on this. But yes, it depends. You'll always choose one. And of course, if your soul has split between flame, you definitely do not want to both be reincarnated into the same family, otherwise there'll be a boo-boo and there'll be a no-no to you getting together. That would be called incest, though, if it is too close in that way. So no, not always into the same family in physical terms, but yes, the same soul team, cluster. You two or would be around you in your lives. So a stronger soulmate connection is the best way I could answer this. So to summarize, the initial question was, do you have to reincarnate? No, you don't, but you will not get very far if you do not. And that is until you are at a certain vibration. A more refined vibration, closer to Creator or Divine. At which point it is not normal to come backwards in vibration, but sometimes it is needed to create a flow, which is what's happening at present.
She's got to get the remote past you.
Oh, that is all right. It has turned itself off for me. But we can carry on as if nothing happened, the microphone still works. So, as you say on the current Earth today, sorry for the technical interference. We'll be back with you in a moment after a short pause. What normally Telly say, doesn't it?
There you go.
I do not need to say, hello, it is done again. It is not paused the live, has it, May?
No.
Thanking you. So, that should hopefully answer your questions. If it is not, or you have a little bit of a deeper question, please comment and I'll be happy to come back to answer this for you. What I will say is there will be a new channel soon with a lot of content when it comes out. That I'm getting Medium and others to work on. That is for the purpose of gaining higher wisdom, ascension, and growth, development. So keep an eye out for Divine Light Unlocked, so that we can help unlock the Divine Light within you to be the Divine Light of all, with guidance that's needed always around you. Putting your compass heading to north, so the growth can always come, aligning you back to the one that's all, that's created and is balanced and is linked to one another. All you need to do is provide the love for one another. It is about having joy and happiness on earth that has been forgotten. Some could say almost like a curse. So don't get into a routine, have timetable lifestyle, remove the what and be free like spirit when no time is desired. Eat when you are hungry, drink when you are thirsty. That is the saying, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it to drink. If you focus and see your lives, you might see that you may not anymore feel free. You are often taken to the water and drink when you are told. Revert back to being free and let your true life unfold. Do what makes you happy. Follow the heart like that for sure. Then you will not ever have to worry about not ascending anymore. This is John. I'm the Medium's Guide. It is a pleasure talking to you all and providing the wisdom that I can. Please feel free to ask anything and look out for divine light unlocked that I've said now. It won't be long. It will be there. Lots for you to learn. For you to contemplate. See if it changes your beliefs and brings you more fun. Lots of love, all of you. Love to all of you and to your families. This is John. Good night. So I hope that helped all of you. I'm away with the fairies now as I've come back from John. I hope that's helped and it's answered some questions for you. Lots of love. I'll see you all soon. Take care.